morning, everyone. I'm going to be doing a slow cooker recipe today. This is from Six Sisters Stuff, and it's a loaded potato and chicken with cheese recipe. That's not exactly the name. I'll tell you the name later. So what you need is a couple of chicken breasts. You need some heavy whipping cream. I think you need about a cup of whipping cream. You need 6 slices of bacon. That's what's next to it. Hang on, let me. I've already cooked my bacon. I'm not sure that's 6 slices, but I've got more in the fridge if it's not. You need 2, this is the Mexican cheese. You need 2 cups of that. So that's probably close to 2 cups. I pulled another one out of the freezer just in case. We buy in bulk, so yeah, I've got lots of cheese here. So we have to separate it out. You need 4 russet potatoes. I'm gonna use my Himalayan pink salt. She sprayed her crock pot with Pam, so that's why I've got the olive oil spray out here, and the black pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. Oh, also green onions. I can't eat onions, so I'm not putting any onions in. I'm also gonna leave that garlic powder out because Spencer does not like it, but that is part of the recipe. So just wanna show you all of the ingredients. My chicken is actually still a little bit frozen, so I'm gonna go do a little prep work and thaw the chicken the rest of the way, and then we will get started putting the items into the crock pot. So stay with me, be right back. Okay, everybody, I'm back and I've got my crock pot out. I've done my preliminary work, which actually took longer than I was hoping for. So sometimes these recipes are a little time intensive. It sounds great. We're just gonna stick everything in the crock pot. It's gonna be so simple. But Kristen from Six Sisters had said to cut up the chicken into bite-sized pieces. Also cut up the potatoes into bite-sized pieces. I'm sure that is the best way to do it. Typically, when I do chicken in the crock pot, I just cut open the bag and dump it in, so I don't even have to touch it. So today I had to touch it, which is not my favorite. But anyway, it's all been done now. I've got everything diced, ready to go. I went ahead and got the bacon into little bite-sized, smaller pieces as well. Hers crumbled so beautifully. I don't think I'm the best bacon cooker out there, but anyway, I'm sure there's a better way. But anyway, let's see what else. I got the whipping cream thawed. I had to shake it up. It's been in my freezer because I never use it. I used it for another recipe. Now I think she said you only need like 3/4 of a cup to a cup. So I think surely there's a cup in there. Okay, so I'm going to start putting stuff into the crock pot now. So thanks for being here, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the top off of my crock pot. Now, after I chopped all these, or kind of cut all these potatoes up, it occurred to me that she had a huge crock pot, like a wider one, and so I probably only needed 2 potatoes, and she said 4 to 5, and I only got 4, because I thought, well, I definitely don't need 5, but I think I only needed 2, so first mistake. Know the size of your crock pot and your family. If you have a huge family, she's got like 5 kids, I think. If you have a huge family, you might need this much. But I probably used about the same amount of chicken, but I really don't feel like I need this many potatoes. But I cut everything up already. So I think what I'm gonna do is put the other ones in the air fryer. We'll just have air fryer potatoes, which, believe it or not, I have an air fryer that I've barely used, and I've never put potatoes in there, but I know it's super simple. So she just used Pam. I'm just gonna use this. This is what I always use, my go-to. This is from Aldi, if you're interested. And I'm just gonna spray that so everything will come out easily. Usually I don't even use that, but since she's using it, I'm just doing it exactly the way she says. I'm sure it will make it come off a lot easier. Let's see. First thing we're gonna do is put half of the potatoes in the bottom. So as you can see, I just cut them up. They're already turning brown. Isn't that gross? Okay, so this is half, but I may just put half of this, or let's see. We'll see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I don't need overflowing, you know what I mean? I don't need overflowing. Let's see. I think I'm gonna use most of this on the bottom. Okay, so that was pretty full. I'm gonna leave some of that, so it may be that I end up using most of these potatoes. We'll see how it goes. Now, the next thing you're gonna do is put your chicken. Now, the chicken's in bite-sized pieces. She said to pour all the chicken on. Okay, so there's my chicken. I'm gonna go ahead and pour all that in. Really don't want to touch it, y'all. Gross. I have gloves. I could have just put them on. Okay. I am gonna wash my hands real quick. Let's see. It's probably hard to see. Hopefully you can kind of see. So far it's looking like that. I'll just hold it up so you can see it. All right, it's looking like that so far. Now we're going to put in half of the salt, the pepper, and the garlic. I did put a little sprinkle of garlic. My husband does not like garlic, but I think if I just put a little, he's not gonna notice. One thing about this, she said when they did the taste test, it was 4.5 stars out of 5, and I put a comment on there and asked her what would you do differently. I'm wondering personally if this needs more spices, because this isn't a lot. It's 1 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon pepper, and then a 1/2 teaspoon garlic, and I just shook a little. It's definitely not a 1/2 teaspoon. So I've got it halved out here, half and half. Well, one's probably a little bit more than the other, but anyway, half and half. I'm gonna put this one on first. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it right here. Let's see here. All right. Now, what was the next thing? Okay, so you sprinkle half of it now. Okay, next is half of your 4 green onions sliced. So if you're using the green onions, if you're using green onions, it's 4 green onions sliced. You'd use 2. So half of what would be 2. Use half of it now. Okay, I'm not doing that. 6 strips of bacon, do half. So here's my bacon. So I'm just gonna sprinkle this around. My bacon last night, it usually looks better than this, but it was like really fatty on the ends, and I don't know. It's like the middle is done and the ends were not done. So it's probably a Diana issue. It's probably not anybody else's issue but mine. I forgot to tell you the name of this recipe because I had to look at my sheet of paper. It's from Six Sisters Stuff. They just posted it this week. So probably the week you're seeing this, they posted it the Sunday before. It's slow cooker loaded chicken and potato casserole. That's what she called it. Okay, so half of my 6 strips of chicken are in there. 2 cups of shredded cheese. This is the Mexican. Honestly, if I had this to do over, I think I would use sharp cheddar just because I think it would have more taste. Mexican cheese to me tastes like nothing, but you use what you want. Okay, so this is 1 cup because we're doing 2 cups total, so I'm gonna do 1 cup now. Okay, so let me lift it up again for you to see. That's what it looks like. It's got so far we've got one layer of potatoes. All the chicken went in, and then the onions if you were using them, the salt, pepper, garlic powder, the half of the bacon, and half of the cheese. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and measure this cheese out right here for my next step. And then we're going to start over putting the layers. Now you've put all your chicken in, so you're not layering your chicken. She didn't really say why that was, but I'm just doing exactly what she said. You're layering everything but the chicken. So there's another cup, so I didn't even need my other bag. Still got cheese left over. When we put these in the little bags, it's hard to see how much we have. Okay, so I got a little cheese left over for Sunshine. She loves cheese, so I'll let her eat that a little bit later. All right, so now we're going to start over with our layers. So the other half of the potatoes. Now my thing is already about half full, so I definitely don't think I'm going to put that many more potatoes in here. Just saying. This was my whole other bowl. There's no way I can fit all this in here, so I'm just going to put a few, and then I think I can just air fry the rest. So basically, I still have a full bowl. I'm not a huge potato person. I like French fries, but I like baked potatoes, but I never have potatoes. I actually had to go to the store and get some potatoes for this recipe. Okay, the other half of the salt mixture, so we're just gonna spread this over. Okay, other half the potatoes, other half salt mixture, other half green onions, which I'm skipping, other half cheese. You know what, I think the bacon goes on. I think I left out a step. So let's go ahead and put the bacon on. I wrote everything down, but I think I clearly left the bacon off the list. Okay, so got the bacon on. So I'll show it to you before I put the cheese on. We all know what it looks like with cheese on, right? Okay, and then let's see, other half cheese. And then the last thing we're gonna do is 1 cup heavy whipping cream. So what's interesting to me is there's hardly any liquid. There really is no liquid in here. The chicken had a little bit of liquid on it. Okay, so all my empty bowls, let me just move this for a second out of the way. All right, so there's my extra cheese that I'm not needing at this moment. Now, she said to be careful how you do, and this has been in the freezer, but be careful how you do the whipping cream. Just do it gently. So I'm just going to pour it very slowly. So it's all kind of goopy because it's been in my freezer. So if you're wondering why it looks weird, this is why. I froze it because the last time I did a whipping cream thing, I thought, I wonder, do I not like whipping cream or because I don't think it has, does it have much taste? I kind of don't think so. But I didn't like the recipe. I don't remember what the recipe was. I didn't love it. And I wondered if it was the whipping cream. And I thought to myself, I'm not sure if I ever want to use whipping cream again. But anyway, that's why it looks a little chunky because it's been in my freezer. I had to shake it good to get it to thaw. Now, okay, that was the last thing. The 1 cup heavy whipping cream. Now we're going to put our top on. And we're going to put it on low, 6 to 8 hours. So what time is it now? It's almost 10 o'clock. Y'all, I've been doing this since like 8. That's what, I'm so slow in the kitchen. I hope the rest of you slice and dice faster than me. I had to get all the trash out before 9 because it's trash day. So I will come back later with a little bit of a taste test, but I could have showed you what it looked like, I guess. That's what it looks like. There you go, all together. Now, put the top back on, and I've got it on low. It says 6 to 8 hours. We're going to see how it goes, and I will let you know. So, thanks for being here. I'll come back with the taste test in several more hours, and I hope you guys are having a great day. It is Monday here. It's already 70 degrees, y'all. It's supposed to be like 75 today. I'm telling you, the weather has been perfect, except for the rain. And they're talking about more heavy rain. I'm just like, please, Lord, make it stop. We've already had too much rain. We have a field right next to our house. Usually when you see me filming, it's the backyard. We have a field next to it. There's water standing. It's so gross. And then last night I had this alert pop up, more heavy rain this week. I'm like, no, please, Lord, no. So anyway, we don't need more rain right now, but it's all good. We live close to a river. We're upriver from it. So we're up. But water still does stand in everybody's yard. So it's going to be fine. The main problem is me sometimes having trouble getting where I'm going. And I think I'm going to start on Wednesday. And that's the day I go to my parents' house. That's like, please, why? Why do we always have flooding or some horrible tornado situation or, high winds? Last week it was horribly high winds. And I know a lot of my friends were also getting it. It was like 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. Trees were coming down. Thank you, Lord. Nothing happened to me. I was so thankful. We had some trees that did come down though, so I didn't even notice it till yesterday. Long story. Anyway, so because we had that field, we just don't even go into the field. So I walked Ranger that way, saw the tree. I was like, oh, we've had a tree come down. My goodness. Okay, too much talking. Anyway, if you didn't like the talking, you can just fast forward. But I'm going to go ahead and see you guys later. I've got another video I've got to edit, so I'm going to go do that while this does its thing, and I'll see you back here in a few hours. All right, so I turned this off a couple minutes ago. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug. So I'm sure it's done because it is right now, it's been almost 8 hours. So I started it at 10 till 10. It's now 20 till 6. So surely it's done by now. Spencer called to see what I've been doing today. He's got to go to a meeting, and so I was telling him I'd been cooking this, and I said, I was walking Ranger, and I said, I have this feeling I'm gonna think that it needs. There's a big chunk of chicken. And so like the potatoes. I said I have a feeling I'm gonna think it needs some Velveeta on top of it because I just don't think that kind of cheese has a lot of taste, but it does smell good. So I think it'll be fine. So let me go ahead, see if I get the top back on. It's just kind of bland, I'm not trying to be a complainer because I thought it sounded good, but now when I think about it, to me it's sounding bland. All right, I took a little taste. I was trying to see if it was cooled off enough. Now the bottom's hot. I'll just put this under it. Usually these plastic things don't get hot at all. It's pretty good. The interesting thing is the potatoes are still a little crunchy, which surprised me because this has been going for 8 hours now. But that's okay. I don't mind them being a little
I mean, they're done. I actually don't like my vegetables to be real smushy, so that doesn't bother me at all. And there's a chunk of chicken. It's real tender. Yeah. It's a little bland, but it's very tasty. I think the bacon helps it. And actually, I think if you have stomach issues like I do, this is actually a very good bland meal because it's just white potatoes, the bacon, maybe not so good. And like, of course, I left the onions out. But so everything's kind of white. You've got a little bit of garlic powder. You've got salt, chicken, you know, everything was white, the whipping cream. So it's, except for the bacon, everything's just very, and the salt, I mean the pepper, not the salt, the pepper, everything's just very white colored. It almost reminds me of chicken noodle soup, even though there's no noodles in it. It's just really, really good. I'm impressed because I really did, like I said, I just told Spencer, I think it's gonna need Velveeta. This is actually really good. You can't see the cheese on here, but I think you can definitely taste it. If you like garlic, you'll probably want to add more of the garlic, but again, my husband does not like it. So I feel like I can taste a little bit of it. I think it's enough for us. Definitely enough for him. Yeah. It's still hot. So anyway, I like it. I went out there and I actually made a recording of the field where I talked about where the tree had fallen and everything. I don't know if I cut some things out. So when I was doing a lot of talking, I may have cut that part, but with a field where a tree fell. So if you're interested in that and just seeing our field and what's going on out there, and we've actually had 2 trees that came down out there. I also recorded, if you go through all of it and wait till the very end, I recorded the birds. The purple martins showed up a few days ago, and I got a really good recording of them for an entire minute. I just let it go for a minute, and I was pretty close to them. They usually fly off. They get once they have babies, they get very upset and they fly off. But because they just got here, they don't have babies. So they weren't upset. They let me get pretty close to them. So I just recorded, let it go for about a whole minute. And they make very cute noises. If you don't know about purple martins, they're super, super cute birds. So stay tuned to the very, very end for that. And thanks for being here. Love you guys. I thought I would show those of you who are interested, and forgive me, I'm sitting next to a busy highway, so you may not be able to hear. Also, the wind is blowing. It just started really blowing as soon as I got out here. You can see this tree right here is leaning. It's just been very wet, but that tree's also dead. That's a Leland cypress, and it's dead. This right here, this huge pile, is their pine tree, which is right here. It keeps dropping stuff, so this, you can see stuff breaking off up there. Their limbs are broken. So this mess is in our yard, not their yard. Although some of it may have been in their yard. I actually saw him over there. You can see more of it has fallen. There's the tree, there's their yard. Nobody lives here. I'm just gonna lean over the fence because the fence is basically broken down. You can see how close all this hit to their house. There's their house right there. Now, nobody's lived here in years. Spencer's been trying to get in touch with them because we kind of like to buy this house next to us for maybe his mom to move in, but we can't get in touch with anybody. So here's the fence. It just like broke the fence down right here, but he had actually put this fence up himself. So anyway, this was his fence. And then this was our tree that fell. In fact, it looks like he cut down 2 trees. So there's 2 stumps here. Yeah, you can see this one that uprooted right here. And then this one right here is also, there's a little bit of green up there, but that's mostly looking dead too. So we're probably just gonna end up taking them all down. Leyland cypresses have issues where they look really good for a while, and then they're really good for blocking your neighbors if you don't want to see them. Then they start dying. So here's a huge pile right here. We'll keep walking, and I'm gonna show you. This is the other tree. So this tree uprooted. It was a really big tree. So you can see all of that. And then here's where he's been cutting it. You can also see how wet all this is. Like a little bit further, you can see puddles. There's my car, my old car. Anyway, so this tree just like kind of uprooted. It's still kind of up in the air. So here's, you cut this part, cut it off of this part, but it was huge. So here's a bunch of firewood that we're going to be using someday once it kind of dries out. And here's another pile of wood. He's been stacking up wood and carrying wood, and it's so wet over here now. You can see how just really, you know, it's just now starting to dry up just a little bit. Like that right there is really wet still. Right here, this is very wet. So it's just now starting to dry up. Okay, our purple martins are here. One just flew off. I was going to show them to you, but anyway, whatever. Right, I hear him. Now he's he's going to be hard to see. It's going to be hard to see. Anyway, whatever. There's a blueberry house. Okay, so see, here I am standing in water. Ew. Probably shouldn't walk through here. This is gross. This is gross. Here's my blueberry bushes right here. Okay, and here's the blueberry house. I was trying to show the neighbors because, you know, I want people to have privacy. There's Finn. Hey Finn, what you doing? So, but that's the house that's been empty forever. I don't mind showing that because nobody's been living there. It needs a lot of work to it, so it's probably a blessing we can't get a hold of the guy because I don't really want to pay for it, but I'd like to buy it and tear it down, actually. All right, so there's Finn. He's coming to see me. I gotta go feed him.